crimes. This is a big crime. That's rape, murder, and all those awful things are up there. And we think, man, they're awful crimes. But you know what? You may have heard me say this before. I got a white shirt on tonight. If you took an ink pen and you scribbled one little dot right there, that would show up just as well if you dumped a whole bucket of ink on top of me tonight. God is perfect in every way. God's never committed a crime. God's never done wrong. So if you've broken one law, you've broken 100, it won't match up to God's record. And only people that get to go to heaven are those that are washed like Him. I didn't say perfect like Him, washed like Him. And then they get to go. We have a jail ministry. And I told one guy there that one night, I said, the biggest crime in this world is not murder, it's not rape, it's knowing Jesus is Lord and denying Him and not keeping God's commandment. That crime cannot be forgiven if you choose not to fix it. That's the biggest crime we have. So like the thief, we are men and women of despicable crimes. But here's something I want to think about the thief tonight. He chose to be a thief, didn't he? He chose it. He chose to do what he wanted to do. And that was to steal and the lie and the murder. He chose to do all those things. And you know what? I'm sure there were people all around him saying, hey, come do this. Hey, come do this. Let's go down here and steal this. We can get all kinds of things from that. Hey, this guy's giving us a lot of trouble. I say we just get rid of it. I bet there was people pulling all over him. They get him to do something. But they couldn't make him do it. He chose to do it. Tonight, you aren't made by anybody to do anything. The devil made me do it. Doesn't work tonight. The devil can't make you do anything tonight. He can tempt you to do all kinds of things, but you and you alone make the choices in your life. He chose to be a thief. Well, Brother Blake, so-and-so came from a bad background. So-and-so lost their father at an early age. Let me tell you something tonight. Bad circumstances are not an excuse. Becoming and having bad behavior and breaking against law, that won't stand on Judgment Day. You choose. You can make good choices no matter where you're at. And he chose to be a thief. And guess what? We choose when we turn our backs on God. It's not like God kicks us and says, get away from me. We choose to do that. We choose to walk away. We choose to let down on God. Brother Blake, you're off of gloom, and despair. I told you, we've got to realize how bad we are before we realize how good Jesus is. All right, so let's talk about this thief a little more. He chose to be a thief. But I bet he devised a perfect plan to where he would have never been caught. Isn't that what everybody does? I want to go out there and this is my little plan. You watch the mobster movie or you hear about people on TV talking about the perfect plan they had to get away with it. And I bet he had a perfect plan about how he was going to do something and get away with it. But listen to me tonight. You can fool me. You can fool Charlie. You can fool everybody in your church. When you die, they can sing Amazing Grace and everybody talk about how you were a church member for so many years and everybody think you went to heaven. But there's one person you will not fool. There's one person whose plan, your plan's going to be shut down by, and that's God. You're not going to fool Him. Josh Wright preached on Thursday for us. Every secret thing will come into light when God judges us for what we've done. Every little thing that you've done, every failure that you've committed and had not atoned for, it's going to come up. You're not going to hide from God. You can't go to a place so dark where He can't see you. You can't go to a place so far away where He won't hear you. You're never too far away from His arm tonight. You're not going to cheat God. And here's the thing about a thief. He would have never been a thief if he never got caught. You're going to get caught sooner or later. Maybe not by any mortal man, but you'll get caught by God. Folks, we only have so far that we can go. This thief would not have been a thief unless he got caught. And one day he got caught. And as soon as he got caught, and they put that cross on his back and told him to pack it, where was all the things he lied for? Where was all the things he cheated for? Where was everything that he had murdered for? It was gone. And all he had left now was his sin and the judgment placed upon his back. Folks, everything the devil and this world is trying to get you to go after and trying to tempt you away from God. When the rubber meets the road and judgment comes, those things aren't going to be there. Your lust and your pride and your pleasures and what you want to do is going to be gone. And all you're going to have is sin and condemnation on your back. And everything you sacrificed your relationship with God for is going to be gone. Everything that you broke your back working for yourself will be gone. And then all you'll have is your own sins. All you'll have is your own cross to bear. Didn't have any gold. Didn't have any friends. Didn't have the big reputation. All he had was a cross on his back, heading up Calvary's hill. And you know, somewhere along the line of the crucifixion, that guy had to realize he was truly a thief. You know, you can deny it all you want to. I'm sure he denied it. I'm not that bad. I didn't do all those things. Then people lied on me. I didn't do this. I didn't that. Folks, when he was packing a cross down the street and everybody in the city had lined up to look at him, there's no denying it then. There's no denying what he's done. There's no lying or covering up or downplaying it. He's a thief. And the whole town sees him as a thief. And if we're not careful, we'll try to downplay where we've cheated God. But when it comes out, sooner or later, folks, when it gets bad enough and you get broken enough and you look in the mirror, you'll look and see a thief. I'm moving on. Now here's the thing that really breaks my heart. Once this man had the cross on his back and he's walking down the road, you know, his identity is lost and all we know him for is his crimes. You think about that. That guy had a family. Sure he did. I'm sure he had parents. I'm sure he had cousins. I'm sure he had friends that called him by name. But now he's just the thief that walks down the road. You know, when you pile up enough sin and people find out, or God finds out, or you find out and wake up what you're doing, who you are will be stripped. You'll lose your identity. And all you'll be known for is not what you've done, not where you've come from, or not the good that you've done, or where you come from, or who your family is. You'll be known as your sin. Sin will consume who you are. And that's all you'll be known for. This man is not called by name, though those have tried to figure out his name. He's simply the thief. That one is simply the adulterer. That one's simply the atheist. We get so down in the judgment and condemnation of sin, we lose who we are. I'm sure that guy had done good things in his life. You don't hear about it. I'm sure he'd probably helped somebody out a time or two. You don't hear about it. You hear about his sin. You hear about how he's a thief. And folks, it will eat your life up. And it will take up your identity for who you are. And then this is where it gets a little bit stronger. You know how you die on a cross? Well, they can beat you to death when you're on a cross. But you know how you die when you're on a cross? They put you up there and your own body weight suffocates you. You think about that. Think about that image in your mind. That thief was going to die because his own body weight constricted him out. And that's a slow, painful death. I about had, I think I was in the 4th grade last time I had an asthma attack. I about had one yesterday. I felt the chest turned tight and the lungs turned tight and I couldn't breathe and it got scary for a second. But that's the whole time he's on the cross. Until his lungs just can't do it anymore. Well, Brother Blake, what's that got to do with us spiritually? Folks, without God's help, without God